Hello everyone, I'm Benjamin Apilanes, your math teacher. Today you will learn how to solve the sample median for group data. There are three steps in solving the median for group data. Step 1. Construct the cumulative frequency distribution. Step 2. Decide the class that contains the median. Note that the class median is the class interval where the n/2 value falls. Step 3. Find the median by using the following formula. The formula in finding the median, that is equivalent to Lm plus I times the quantity of n/2 minus f divided by fm, where n is the total frequency, f, the capital letter F, the cumulative frequency before the class median, fm, the frequency of the class median, I, the class width, Lm, the lower class boundary of the class median. So take note of the steps in finding the median for group data. Right, let's proceed to our example. Read to you the given. In a random sample, the time to work the travel of 50 office workers were recorded. Calculate the median. Time to work to travel, the class intervals are, and the frequency 1 to 10, the frequency is 8, 11 to 20, the frequency is 14, 21 to 30, the frequency is 12, 31 to 40, the frequency is 9, and 41 to 50, the frequency is 7. So our first class interval is from 1 to 10, the second class interval is 11 to 20. The third class interval is 21 to 30. The fourth class interval is 31 to 40, and the fifth class interval is 41 to 50. So our frequencies are 8, 14, 12, 9, and 7. So this is our given frequency distribution. You are asked to find the median. So before we start, let us recall first our steps in solving for the median. There are three steps. The first step is construct the cumulative frequency distribution. Step 2. Decide the class that contains the median. Note also that the class median is the class interval where the n/2 value falls. And step 3. Find the median by using the following formula. The formula is below. Take note on that. That is our formula. Right, we have already here our solutions. What I need to do now is to explain and discuss to you how did we arrive the answers. Alright, let us start with the first step. What is our first step? Our first step is construct the cumulative frequency distribution. The cumulative frequency distribution comprises of your CF, the cumulative frequency, and your CB, the class boundaries. Alright, shall we start now solving our cumulative frequency? How did we get our cumulative frequency? Note that our cumulative frequency is taken from our frequency. And to do that, for your first cumulative frequency, just copy the first frequency 8. So 8 is our first cumulative frequency that is coming from your F. Just copy. Next, to get 22, just add 8 plus 14, and that is 22. Next, to get 34, just add 22 plus 12, and that is 34. Next, to get 43, just add 34 plus 9, and that is 43. And the last, to get 50, just add 43 plus 7, and that is 50. If you add all your F, 8 plus 14 plus 12 plus 9 plus 7, that is 50, and that is equivalent to your N. N is the number of observations. And if you divide n by 2, that is equivalent to 25. That is n/2. That is 25. Again, to get the cumulative frequencies, just refer it to your frequencies. Right, shall we proceed now to the CV, the class boundaries? How did we get the class boundaries? Note that there are two parts of the class boundaries, the lower class boundaries and the upper class boundaries. Right, take note that the class boundaries were taken from your class intervals. Again, the class boundaries were taken from your class intervals. The class intervals has two parts, the lower limit and the upper limits. The lower limits are 1, 11, 21, 31, and 41. The upper limits are 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Now to get the lower class boundaries, these are coming from the lower limits. That is, if you subtract each of the lower limit by 0.5, the result will be your lower class boundaries. Again, if you subtract all each of your lower limits by 0.5, the result will be your lower class boundaries. And if you add 0.5 to each of your upper limits, again, if you add 0.5 to each of your upper limits, the result is your upper class boundaries. In short, to get the upper class boundaries, just add by 0.5 to each of your upper limits, and the result will be your upper class boundaries. And now we are done with the first step to construct the cumulative frequency distribution. Now let us proceed to the second step. Right, the second step is to decide the class that contains the median. The class that contains the median is the third class interval, that is where the n/2 value falls. Again, the class that contains the median is the third class interval. It is where the n/2 value falls. Our n/2 value is 25, and from the cumulative frequency, 25 belongs to 34, and that is where the class median is located. Or simply, the line that covers the class interval 21 to 30 is your class median. The yellow lines that highlights to your third class interval is your class median. Right, we have determined now our class median, or the class median has been determined already. Right, after now identifying the class median, you have to identify now the LM, the lower class boundary of the median class, your I, the class width, and your F, the cumulative frequency before the median class, that is the capital F, then your FM, the frequency of the median class. Right, let us determine first the class width, that is your I. I is your class width. How did we get 10? That is, 10 is the distance between intervals, that is 11 minus 1, that is 10. You can also get that from 21 minus 11, that is 10. 31 minus 21, that is 10. 41 minus 31, that is 10. That is how to get the class width I. Next, how to get your LM, the lower class boundary of the median class. So refer to the third class interval, which belongs to our class median. The lower class boundary LM is 20.5. So that is our lower class boundary of the median class. Next is the capital F, that is the cumulative frequency before the median class, and that is 22. Again, the capital F is the cumulative frequency before the median class, and that is no other than 22. We already have the n/2, which is equivalent to 25. That is, n/2 is equivalent to 25. And lastly, your FM, that is the frequency of the class median, and that is no other than 12. Refer to the frequency column. The frequency of the class median is 12, and that is our frequency FM, which is 12. So we have now determined the requirements to solve the median, which is our lower class boundaries, LM, which is equivalent to 20.5, your I, which is your class width, which is equivalent to 10, your n/2 value, which is equivalent to 25, your capital F, which is the cumulative frequency before the median class, which is equivalent to 22, and your frequency of the median class, which is equivalent to 12. And to compute the median, let us proceed now to the last step. Right, let us proceed to the third step, the last step. Our third step is find the median using the formula. Right, let us move to the next step. Substitute all the given information to our formula, that is LM, which is equivalent to 20.5, plus your I, which is equivalent to 10, times your n/2, which is equivalent to 25, minus the capital F, which is your cumulative frequency before the median class, which is equivalent to 22, divided by the frequency of the median class, your FM, that is equivalent to 12. Next thing to do is simplify first within the numbers within the parentheses. That is 25 minus 22, that is equivalent to 3, and 3 divided by 12, that is equivalent to 0.25. Then 0.25 times 10, that is equivalent to 2.5. Then 2.5 plus 20.5, that is equivalent to 23. And that is our median, that is our answer. And we have solved that the median is equal to 23. And that is our final answer. Thus, 25 persons take less than 23 minutes to travel to work, and another 25 persons take more than 23 minutes to travel to work. Right, that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.